Hey traders, checking into the stock market today. Lots of inside bars out there as we trade within the ranges of Friday. The NASDAQ now has a resistance level we can see from space. Bulls have proving to do. Let's see the key levels that need to break. Before we get to the charts, just a reminder, this coming Thursday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to do a private live stream for those interested in what the Chart Guys community and membership entails. I'll give you a tour around. There'll be a discount code. We will record it and upload it afterwards, but I don't think those discount codes will still be active at that point in time. Check it out. Click the link in the description of the video and sign up to get a link to the live stream. So the S&P 500 actually has some bounce follow through. We had the bounce that initiated at the end of Friday with OPEX. We then had a higher low established at the low of today into continuation. So we do have a 4-hour uptrend on the futures chart, which means we zoom out and we look at the high of last Wednesday as a key resistance level from here, because anything under that is just a daily lower high. And we know every single bounce attempt that we've seen over the last 1 month has led to a lower high. So if we look at that on SPY, it's going to be 408.57, which is still over 2.5% away. So essentially, we haven't talked since last Thursday, but Friday we had bears in complete control of the day. We had a big rally into the end of the day with OPEX and a whole bunch of options expiring. And we now have a little bit of bounce follow through. So it's a bear break with no follow through into a daily bounce. A lot more proving to be done from the bulls, but the daily bounce is underway. That being said, the NASDAQ does not have a daily bounce underway. So I'm looking at this resistance zone, and it's not just a clear level, it is a zone. And if you've been watching these videos, you know that over the last couple months, we have rejected from some clear resistance levels multiple times and then rolled over into fresh lows. So this is a very important resistance zone for me. And we can see that between the high of the bounce on Thursday, on Friday, and last night, we've got 3 tops here. Let's remove the middle line to just make it a clear zone. And here we are rejecting at the high of today, rejecting into the afternoon, getting a little bit of a bull break after hours right now, but still the highest level that we've seen on this attempt here from extended hours on May 20th. We have not broken that level yet. So that's going to be very important. The 4-hour time frame we can see is a higher low, but it's not clearing these resistance levels. And if we look at QQQ, it's a daily inside bar. We did not break the high. Well, we did by 7 pennies, but that's a double top for me. So essentially trying to get the daily bounce going, but a bit more follow through is needed on this bounce if it's going to be underway. Pretty much bulls have to show up tomorrow. If they do, daily resistance 306.56. Again, that's still multiple percent away. Anything under that keeps the daily lower highs intact. But the bull's trying to get this daily bounce going. So with that, we have other names that are holding up a lot better. So again, SPY and QQQ on Friday both dropped to lower lows. SMH did not. SMH held the low. It's a daily inside bar today. If the inside bar were to break bull tomorrow, we would have our low, daily lower high, higher low, and 239.96 would be a very important resistance level as the daily range continues to tighten up. If the inside bar breaks bear, we're headed right back down towards our recent lows. Again, the burden across the board is on the bulls. And they're shaping things up, but we need another green day tomorrow because the NASDAQ did not participate. And just to show us, QQQ divided by SPY, little bit of a bounce attempt, but still, I want this to be a big green chart. Again, the last time we saw the big bounce for 3 weeks, QQQ was leading the way. And today was a little bit tricky because we had some individual names like Apple with a big green day after being a lead bear most of last week. We had Google showing some strength, not as much. Microsoft was definitely a lead bull in the tech sector, but Amazon was showing us a good bit of relative weakness. Amazon is holding support still, but we can see we broke the low of last week on Amazon. And again, it's just a very different setup between some of these individual names. There was a point in time before this consolidation started in the broader market where Amazon and Apple would just do the same thing. And now more and more often, they're doing their own things. And today was a very clear example where I think at one point, Apple's up 2% plus, Amazon's down 2% plus, and that just has this tug of war effect because they're the two most important individual names in QQQ. When they're both going in the same direction, it's very clear for QQQ and a driving force, whatever direction that is. But when they're going back and forth, it's a little bit more difficult to gauge what QQQ is doing. But that resistance level is nice and clear for us. And that is a top watch for tomorrow. If we were to see the NASDAQ break resistance overnight, it would put some pressure on some short-term bears. If we could clear all these resistance levels, that would essentially put 3 days worth of bears underwater. But again, daily lower highs, big picture, are our downtrend guide. Tesla. So Tesla's a daily inside bar, and it's remaining weaker overall. Another name where the bulls have tons of proving to do. If the inside bar breaks bull, I would call anything under 787 a daily lower high. It's another name that broke bearish. Granted, not a lot of bear follow through, but still a very clear daily downtrend. And when you can bounce 5% plus, 10% plus, 15% plus, and still be in a daily downtrend, you know that the bears are comfortable. So hourly time frame, trying to show a shift in momentum, have to see the inside bar break bull tomorrow to say, yep, daily bounce underway. And then we keep an eye out for a daily lower high. Financial sector was clearly the lead bull sector today, up over 3%. It dropped to a lower low on Friday as well, same as SPY and QQQ, but now we have a double top at our daily lower high resistance. And you can see out of all the names that we just looked at, those daily lower highs are not close. So the fact that XLF is testing those daily lower highs, and if we break 34.24, again, it's putting a scenario where we're at the highest levels that we've seen in over a week and a half. And not many individual names can say that, but the financial sector trying to get a weekly bounce going. If we do break that double top at resistance, we know there's tons of space for a weekly lower high to form, but we'll at least have a bounce underway, and we will then zoom out and scout that weekly lower high in the coming weeks. Healthcare is also trying to stand out stronger. It's got a daily trend change developed. Again, SPY and QQQ are starting from square one. They're bouncing off their lows. We have to bounce, we have to top out, we have to hold the higher low, we have to see the higher high. XLV has already done a lot of that. We bounced, we topped out, we held support, and now we're trying to break resistance of 130, 139 to confirm the daily trend change. Excuse me. Confirm the daily trend change, confirm the inverse head and shoulders, which is a daily trend change, and then we zoom out and scout a weekly lower high with tons of space for it to form. Weekly bounce is already underway here, but daily uptrend still does need to confirm. So clearly these two sectors are on the stronger end of the spectrum, while QQQ is much weaker still, comparatively. IWM, also shaping up a daily trend change attempt. Low, lower high, higher low, inside bar today. If the inside bar breaks bull, our daily higher low is set, and we look to 182.84 resistance to try and confirm a daily trend change to the bulls. So we have some of these sectors trying to shape up daily trend changes and lead the way on the bounce. Tons of space for a weekly lower high if that bounce gets going, while bulls are trying to shift the short-term momentum. Biotech sector started the morning extremely strong, had a little gap up open, but we rejected right off resistance. The high was 71.51, and we topped out at 71.57, so that's a double top, and we closed a little bit weak. So it's the low, lower high, higher low, double top. Must hold 66.96 on any pullback. If we were to lose that level and fail this daily trend change, a weekly bear flag will be on the table. It's entirely possible. If we don't clearly get over 71.50s, even if we do, again, we're scouting that weekly lower high with tons of space. So that's why it's important to be shifting around these time frames and be able to put on your bull glasses and your bear glasses. We know bears have had complete control for a significant amount of time, but bears also know that some bounces are going to take place along the way. And if this bounce gets a bit more follow through, we'll just be patiently waiting for those weekly lower highs. So we're not giving up as bears. We could be bullish in the short term and bearish in the midterm. And in fact, I find that often, unless you're in an uptrend or a downtrend on every single time frame, it is most beneficial if you're bias with trends and with analysis differs based on time frame. I can be a bull on the hourly and a bear on the daily. I can be a bear on the weekly and a bull on the monthly. But the biotech sector has a very clear double top, which has to break for some bounce follow through. Covered the cannabis sector over the weekend with an in-depth video, so just to check in on them, very clear lead bears for Canadian MJ today, heading back down towards their recent lows. No daily trend change shaping up at this point. US MJ, MSOS confirmed a daily trend change on Friday. No follow through today. So we know a trend change with no follow through means zoom out because it's a potential bear flag. And right now, MSOS is a potential weekly bear flag. We would have to see a clear move up over $15, in my opinion, to call it a trend change with follow through. I had a small swing position from the end of the day move on Friday. I exited some more of that today, locking in a little bit more profit because of the lack of any bull follow through. And just going to stick with a risk-free position. If we drop back down towards my break even, which at this point is just above 14, I'll probably stop out and go back to all cash, break even, and patiently watch and observe from there. From there, we got the VIX still in our daily equilibrium, tightening up nicely. Anything above 25.51 is a daily high or low. If I'm looking for a broader market bounce, I have to see this equilibrium break bear. There is no scenario, in my opinion, where the broader market can bounce with any kind of meaningful follow through, and this chart breaks bull. So we're heading down towards 25.51 support, key support level, and a real nice month-long equilibrium continues to tighten up. The US 10-year, daily downtrend, lack of follow-through, so that's keeping the weekly chart healthy at this point. The dollar, big bear day today. Dollar bears loving the setup because we're just creating more and more space for a lower high to be the result of the next bounce. Bigger picture, yes, we're absolutely scouting a weekly high or low. Anything above 97.68. We'll be keeping an eye on EMA 12 support if the weakness continues. And patient bears will be looking for a short next daily bounce, knowing that that lower high will be the most likely scenario. The metals have some bounce follow through, so they have that little higher low and higher high that many of our major sectors are trying to see. So the weekly bounce is underway here. Again, tons of space for the weekly lower high to be the result of this bounce. We're now gauging retracement size. Is this a weekly bear flag? Or is this a big enough weekly bounce to create a trend change attempt? Right now, it's still possibly a bear flag. If we get another leg up, we'll have the possibility for a weekly higher low. Silver is very similar with its weekly bounce. The miners, same. So certainly not a convincing bounce, but a more significant bounce than many of our sectors. Most certainly QQQ and SPY. Other commodities, we've got oil. Testing resistance if we drop down and break the low of today, tomorrow, 109.15. I'm on CLN, the July futures contract. It'll be a daily lower high being set, and we'll be looking to tighten up here. And I am watching the energy sector for this channel, and we're up testing resistance now again, so bulls keeping their complete control, but just using this as a visual guide and watching this resistance, because we do keep having bull breaks with no follow through. Here's your all-time high, straight into a pullback, all-time high, straight into a pullback. So still an uptrend, just something I'm keeping an eye on, not something I'm looking for, not something I'm actively looking for a trade in. Utilities sector, also extremely tight. Trying to break out from a range we've been stuck within for the last couple of weeks. Natural gas, daily bull flag confirmed. Big time turnaround. We were seeing daily consolidation underway. We held support. 781, held support by a couple pennies, and then bulls just took off. Daily uptrend continues. New higher low is 781. Daily bull flag confirms, and now we're testing this bounce high of 887. So overall, the energy commodities are keeping their control as long as these daily higher lows remain. We're watching the VIX. All about the NASDAQ. Can the NASDAQ break that quadruple top of resistance to get the daily bounce going or not? A lot of growth names are shaping up the daily trend change attempts as well. There's ARKK. Again, IWM has the daily higher low. It's got to be the NASDAQ that shifts its momentum and gets this daily bounce going. Let's just say we do. So 2 scenarios. Let's just play them both out. Red day tomorrow, potentially a quick daily lower high being set in the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ will not have broken resistance. And we'll watch for the daily downtrend to continue. If we see green tomorrow, it's all about the daily lower high resistance. If we break that, we've got space for the trend change to eventually try and take place. If we reject from that, we've got less space, still possible, but every green day that we see increases probability that a daily higher low can be the result of next consolidation. But again, we're only on green day number 1, and the NASDAQ has proving to do. Have to see pressure put on bears. I don't currently have any meaningful bearish positions open, but if I put on my bear glasses and I look at this daily chart, I'm not concerned about anything as a bear. I make note, okay, we broke support with no follow through. Can the bulls prove to me that I need to be exiting my positions? That's what we're looking for on this week. And it starts with the NASDAQ. Keep an eye on that wall of resistance. I appreciate you watching. Hope you had a good weekend. Reminder, we have no trading next Monday, so it'll be a long holiday weekend coming up. And don't forget to do good things. Let's check out a deer.